This film is a launching pad for experience. To be useful to you, dimensions must be lived and recognized in awareness. This is why I now invite you on a journey. It is a journey of mystics, scientists, philosophers, and Illuminati. It is your journey as a human being through multiple faculties of perception.
We use the thinking mind and believe we know what mind is. However, beyond the range of our thoughts lies a vast, uncharted region of intelligence that does not respond to brain function and cannot be described by the linear terms our world clings to. In spite of our fears, we'll need to lose our sense of form and content as we enter this region of intelligence, the realm of consciousness.
The universe speaks the language of consciousness as a vast pulsation that enfolds space, irradiating through its countless textures in dynamic rhythms, pressures, and voltages. This occurs through endless cycles of gestation, dissolution, and reformulation. In our natural world, this is birth, death, and rebirth. Let us understand that the nature of consciousness in the universe, as in the human being, is illumination. This manifests through a cyclical play of two forces. One that irradiates as consciousness, and the second that contracts, condenses as matter.
The human being is consciousness dressed in matter. At the densest level, physical substance illustrates the processes of matter, and our thinking mind echoes that of consciousness. Human nature mirrors consciousness. Our life is arrowed towards the expansion of intelligence and the evolution of the human race. Matter evolves when the light that is at its center expands. This occurs for the human being as revelation. Perception is our natural heritage, the organ of consciousness. Expanded perception reveals infinite dimensions of consciousness. The strange thing is that we touch upon them every day without knowing it.
We live in multiple dimensions of consciousness. Each plane has its rules. Physical senses interpret phenomena in the third dimension. Everything appears separate, compact, solid. Mental senses extend from the third dimension into more abstract regions. Under certain conditions, our senses lead to revelation and deep insight, and they seem to cross over one another. For example, we see through our feeling, and we touch through color and sound. These are our spiritual senses. We are the universe, and the universe is us. And our original and natural state of consciousness is dynamic being.
Our experience of consciousness is extended awareness. Our perception of ourselves is as a speck in an infinite sea of light. We're born with this undifferentiated state of consciousness. Our intelligence develops. It adjusts to perform specific activities according to our expanding needs throughout our life cycle. Through meditation, we return to the original state, but with the experience and power of creation that we've acquired through life in a human form.
These are the ranges of consciousness: physical, mental, higher mind, and transcendental. Each range of dimensional frequencies expresses itself uniquely in a variety of ways, from ordinary thought to deepest insight, theory, and ultimately illumination. Most people are not aware of these vibrational shifts, these dimensional doorways. My Father's house has many mansions, and all of them are yours to experience.
Our awareness begins as cellular memory in the womb. Impulses become encoded into cellular life as a result of genes, the mother's experience during gestation, and as a direct result of organic activities sensed by the fetus. We're capable of recalling this experience when we attune ourselves to the pulsation of physical matter directly, without mental interference or value judgment. Imagine yourself back in the womb and allow your body to remember its original language. Feel yourself contained by membranes that reverberate in waves of aqueous resonance. Intelligence here is wholly receptive and responsive. Currents of differing rhythm and frequency create pulsations of feeling sensitivity without context. When we're small, other forms appear huge, but without context, we do not distinguish difference. We simply feel other forms as presence, emitting enveloping waves of being. The connection is direct.
Slowly, as a growing infant, greater freedom of movement and playfulness allows us to experience the nature of space. We see, and as a result, we experience what we see. Did you ever let yourself, in your child's imagination, fly as a bird, swim as a dolphin, float as a cloud? Remember, a human being can only imagine that which may be lived. Gradually,
our sensitivity develops in complexity, and we recognize that what we feel or touch is not what we are. We distinguish ourselves as a subject and develop preferences.
Next, we spread ourselves out into our environment. We project our sensations onto an image or a situation to call forth feelings and sensations. At this point, life becomes an interconnected experience. We are aware of being one, separate, and yet connected to the whole. We remember, associate, and develop a sense of differentiating quality. Each stage marks a facet of the physical dimension of consciousness. Feel how this is part of your current experience.
As we grow older, our mental senses develop into the organizing mind. Three-dimensional facts group themselves into thoughts and ideas managed by the mind. We think our feelings and anticipate meanings. In this range of dimensions, we create reality through thinking. We envision and we believe in what we think. This is the experience of mind apart from matter. We think, therefore we see, feel and believe that we know. We gather more and more information as our mind learns to collect it. Notice when you're in that space.
Mind continues its accelerated pace in complexity. Now we live the mind. At this point, our physical body and our thinking mind are one unit, handled by mental senses that work the same way that our physical senses do. Even emotions are mentally induced. The illusion of control grows as the mind develops tremendous force to project itself. It acquires a sense of distance as well as time. Imagination, as visual recall, replaces reality. The active imagination creates appetites, a kind of thrill. This triggers a craving for more of the same. Time is set aside, parallel reality is conceived. At this stage, the original sensory apparatus of fetal life as consciousness of matter lies dormant, ready for future use when again awakened. Instead, importance is placed on linear parameters and results.
To journey beyond the mechanistic mind of cause-effect, heightened feeling sensitivity is required. The next dimensional range of consciousness calls for a leap from the logistics of the linear mind into higher mind. It demands we avail ourselves of another type of intelligence where background space, not foreground activity, takes precedence. Abstraction, represented by science, mathematics, philosophy and religion, exists in more accelerated dimensions of consciousness. As you imagine these levels of activity, sense the changes in the vibratory frequencies in your own mind. Translinear perception in the higher mind involves a subtle yet intense range of sensitivity on simultaneous levels. We now reopen the window of perception we were born with and are able to give it a context. Subliminal organic awareness matches the intellectual ability we have developed to abstract. This vibrational shift stimulates our capacity to lift veils, allowing us to embrace simultaneous time and form. Mind feels.
This form of intelligence is the true capacity of the human being when she or he is attuned to a peculiarly sensitive range of frequencies. At this point, we sense the pulse of creation as intelligence. It is the feeling sense of mind itself and extends into a conceptual level of pure dynamics, embracing past, present, and future. Knowing becomes also feeling. We find meaning for our lives and connect with the collective voice of humanity. This state of feeling beyond emotion swells to yearn for something that it cannot yet understand. We know ourselves as sentient intelligence.
As we progress through the dimensions of consciousness, frequencies continue to heighten in intensity. If you're unprepared, they will prove intolerable to the physical body and the linear mind. Curiosity for knowledge, rather than information, is at a peak in this range of consciousness. The yearning awakened finds keys that unlock truth as dimensions of direct experience, providing the eureka moment of discovery, the understanding that transcends reason and embraces gaps where the intellect cannot reach.
We now enter a dimensional range that speaks a language of resonance as rhythm, sound, and formula. There is a higher sensibility and concordance that intuits soul energies and provides the experience of illumination and rightness. Here we find memories encoded in our collective finer body-mind that pertain to the secret history of humanity and of the world. It is sensed spiritually as a state of knowing that we know without knowing what it is that we know. We employ finer frequencies of consciousness as pure intelligence. Our bodies yield vitality as a serene presence. Subtler dimensions of consciousness unfold. We become aware that what we truly are conditions what we perceive.
We now know that we are capable of adjusting our intelligence to innumerable frequencies and tapping into different levels of reality. We discover directly that we are the creator and the created, and that we give form and measure to what we perceive. Meanwhile, existence shifts into broader, vaster tonalities of sensibility. Humanity of the past lived in these dimensions and bequeathed them to us as huge, spacious monuments to life. Life and death were seen as one whole continuum, and dark and light were aspects of a greater unity. These were minds that understood star systems and conceived of galaxies as brothers and sisters, and the human form was a unit of measure for the universe.
Allow yourself to know the unknowable. For the highest state of consciousness in human experience, another leap occurs as we respond to soul aspirations. Now, even the quest for knowledge and the fascination with meaning is left behind. We enter the womb space of the universe. Here, reality unfolds as a multi-leveled, translucent experience beyond space itself. Mind as no mind is a knowing, all-inclusive state of dynamic being. We are in heaven or nirvana, a state that encompasses all of nature and humanity. No form could ever convey this experience that expresses itself through pure reverberation and ultimately fusion, spreading into a vast range of spiraling causes that catalyze further movement and form. We are experiencing ourselves as consciousness, the very same space from which we came. Everything merges into one point of incandescent light. Then, through rays concentric consciousness imparts intelligence into matter. A differentiated ray from the one source emerges. An individual life is born again.